Are property surveys mandatory in France? And if not, when do you strongly recommend one?
Property surveys are mandatory in France, apart from the diagnostic reports that the seller has to provide to the buyer. A structural survey that you get in England and other Anglophone countries is commissioned by the buyer just to give peace of mind. So they don't have to have one done, but if they want peace of mind, say on an older property or a property where works are going to be required, then I would recommend it. And as a surveyor, in all purchases, property survey can be a wise choice, if not to raise issues that might even refer to legal problems that you come across, such as rights of way or in multiple occupational units, who's responsible for various areas, which you can then go back to your legal team and just make sure they pick that up.
Better to know in advance, for sure.
Yes.
Can I choose my own surveyor in France, and how do I pick a good one?
You can choose your own surveyor in France. There are a handful of surveyors operating in France. If you go onto the RICS website and type in France as your option, you've come up with a list of surveyors, of which there's approximately half a dozen, perhaps slightly more. When choosing a surveyor, make sure they are a building surveyor and not another type of surveyor, as there are quite a number of disciplines, and that they've got mandatory insurance to cover them for professional indemnity. And so that's perhaps talk to them on the phone to see if they align with you get along. That's
important too.
Yeah, so regionally, probably not quite as important as, say, we cover the whole of France. So some of the other surveyors might not travel as far, so you may want to check that as well. And just check they've got the relevant experience in the type of home you're looking at purchasing.
How detailed are property surveys in France, and how do they differ from a typical UK one?
The property surveys we do are almost exactly the same as the UK one. So it's a structural survey from chimneys down to foundations, inside and out, and is really quite detailed. I hope it's easy to read, so it's not something that's soporific and sends you to sleep. What I do incorporate in the French ones is the information from the statutory reports provided by the seller. So I'll go through and translate for the buyer the reports into the asbestos and electrics and gas.
That's useful.
That comes across from that in a septic tank, for instance. And then they're clear without having to then translate the French side. So that's additional, but the surveys are pretty
similar.
Pretty similar.
Good to know.
Yeah.
What are the biggest red flags you see in French properties, especially older homes, I imagine?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest red flags would be roof issues, because they're expensive to rectify. And a dry house from a good roof is generally more sound inside, so there's less potential work going forward. I mean, cracking is not so much of an issue, and in the last few years there's been a lot of properties with cracking, simply because of the dry weather has caused soil shrinkages, causing these older properties to move because they have shallow foundation. But often that's not as big a problem as you would think, unless it is really a significant crack. So they'll likely close up if the ground rehydrates following wet weather.
That's quite reassuring.
Or it can be repaired with lime mortar. So cracking isn't as much of an issue. I would say a defective roof can cause the most damage longer term.
That's a good tip to remember. How do you estimate the likely cost and urgency of repairs in a way that buyers can understand?
Well, I mean, if they want an estimated cost, I can use my experience and from work we've had done on our own house, for instance, to give them a ballpark figure.
That's useful.
The urgency, obviously, I want that house to be waterproof, and then a means of getting rid of the water off the roof, so gutters and downpipes. And then from there, you sort of build up. How are they going to use this home? Do they want to move in straight away? In which case, they need to make it at least part of it habitable. So they'll want heating if they're going to live there through the winter. So we assign a risk to each element. So in a traffic light system to make it easy to follow.
That's good.
That is then repeated at the front of the document with red traffic light items in one section, amber in the next, green in the next.
That's great. Then you can really see that.
And then it also includes a list of works to be carried out,
Right.
in which we can put a rough estimate of cost. But it doesn't, for say, reduce the need to get some estimates or DEVI from the local artisans.
Yeah, it's just a ballpark.
Yeah, because some will not want the work, so they'll charge, put a big estimate in. Others will be more reasonable, so you still need estimates to be sure.
That's a great place to start. If a buyer is worried about renovation costs, what questions should they ask the surveyor?
For the renovation, what's the minimal I can do to make this house achieve what I want to achieve? You know, as I say, there's a difference between a holiday home being used in the summer and one all year round for comfort. If they don't mind, they just want a house to effectively camp inside for masonry walls. That's a different proposition to one that's comfortable and heated for winter usage. And if they don't need to cook, well, they don't need a kitchen or just need a stove. Or if they're a big cook and they're going to do that's
a priority.
Family dinners, then they need to consider that. You know, so it's almost how long is a piece of string? You know, what do they want to achieve?
Place to start, I think, is a good starting question.
Yeah,
isn't it?
indeed.
Final question. If I'm selling, what can I do beforehand to make sure that the survey goes smoothly and I don't scare buyers away?
If you're selling, and the main thing is to attend to those little niggly jobs that you perhaps haven't got around to. You know, you might have a gutter leak that's been running down the wall. Simple repair, gets it repaired, and then you've got usually an invoice to show that you've had the work done, and you can sell. I've had it done, even though the signs of that defect are still there. Obviously, you've got your statutory diagnostic reports. Some time out, so you might want to leave a couple of them, like termites, to when you have an interested buyer and get it done then. Longer term ones like asbestos, you can make sure all that's in place. If your septic tank is not up to code, get that brought up to code, because that's one of the things that does put people off and can be a quite significant cost. The good thing is if you get the works done yourself, you're in control, so you can control who does the work for you and then subsequently the cost. Whereas if the surveyor comes out and says, say, this bit of the roof needs replacement, the potential buyer might knock a lump sum off that they think will more than cover the cost.
Of course.
And reduce the price offered by more than what it would cost to have it repaired yourself and
so it might
get the full asking.
pay more to get it sorted yourself beforehand.
So that's what I would do. And then, as usual, if you're selling, clear clutter and all the usual advice that you can get off various websites on how to present your home, you know.
Exactly. Then it's down to the design and presentation.
That's right, yes.
Brilliant. Well, thank you. That's great advice.
All right, thank you.